Okay, so I'm assuming that you can see me, but I'm also assuming that my feed is going to just be slow and my delivery, my response to your questions is going to be kind of slow, or responses to your hellos are going to be slow. So I see that Andrea is online, and that makes me very, very happy. It's funny because I've been thinking about you quite a bit. Girl, like just your little face has been showing up, and how during our intuition classes, you'd be in that little spot over there and just looking gorgeous after coming home from work, and yeah, just you've been on my mind, darling. So um, it's been it's really nice that you're here. I wish I could see you, but your little itsy bitsy teeny weeny profile picture is gonna just have to do it. If you are getting my messages, will you just confirm by um, typing into the little chat box that you actually can hear my responses? And Monica, I'm very happy to see you. And uh, Monica, you're asking if the Google chat is also on delay, and I think it is. I don't know. I can only be in one. I'm only kind of monitoring um, one page at a time. When I look at myself in the um, the Google Hangout, it looks like I'm actually in real time, but it seems that I can't really tell. Are you on my web page, Monica, or are you looking at me through Google Hangouts or through YouTube? Okay. Ah, okay. So Monica is okay, got it. Andrea, do you have me playing on the webinar? Okay, I just typed that in. I think the typed messages are actually coming through faster than ah, the play button is on the video slash webinar image. Just scroll over it. Ha 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 ha. What Monica said. Ah, I'm so glad I have you two lovelies to help me figure this out. So I guess the easiest way is to um, type your questions into this box, and I'll respond live. I'm just wondering how late the delay is. Sigh. So right now I'm basically just reading what I'm typing, and I have a feeling that you're getting my typing before you're getting me saying it. So that'll clue you in as to how long the delay is. Hi, Sheila. Sheila, make sure you hit play on the webinar image above. Ah, it says we have 6 viewers. We have 6 viewers, but I don't know who you are. Will you please sign in or jump onto the chat box and um, okay. So if you're in the webinar, would you mind putting just checking in with me on the chat box, which is right below the webinar. You have to hit play on the webinar in order to get it activated. Ah, okay, Sheila. So Sheila is saying that she had me on her smartphone and so she couldn't dial in. So, oh, the phone is about 3 minutes behind the computer. Oh my gosh. Okay, so look, I'm new to this webinar thing, and period. I don't usually do live broadcasting like this. It's my first time. And I just set it up um, on my website. So it's still very new. So thank you for being patient with me. But I think what I'm going to do is um, I'm going to assume that you all are getting this about a minute after I am delivering it. And what I'm going to do is just start talking a little bit to tell you about where I am and what's going on, how things are shaping up, and what life is like here in Paris. Things have been really, really good, and I'm happy to share with you. I'm anxious to share with you. Um, oh my gosh, I see Patrizia just signed on. Patrizia, Patrizia. Okay, this is so cool. I have Patrizia, Sheila, Monica, and Andrea. I'm so happy. So very happy right now. This is so cool. You know, I should have been doing this for ages because although I didn't have internet. Okay, so let me get on with some stories because that's what Paris Chats is about. So on Thursdays, yeah, every Thursday, I'm going to be doing a live broadcast, and hopefully I will figure out kind of a rhythm to deal with the long delay. Um, I understand that the webinars that are embedded in websites have this kind of long delay thing, but I'm not sure that it has to be a big problem. So, because number one, I think that I can actually bring you into my Google Hangout, in which case I can actually see you and talk to you in real time. Because when I'm looking at my Google Hangout, it seems that there's no delay on the Google Hangout. And Actually, you know what? If somebody wants to join me in a little test and wants to um, send me your email address, you can type your email address into the chat box on the webinar, on the Paris Chats webinar page. If you type your email address in there, I can send you a link to the Google Hangout, and maybe I can join you live. And we can actually have a little dialogue live. That might be fun. So we could try it and see if you want to join me. Monica, thank you. You got that in real time. I mean, you got that almost immediately. Holy mackerel, that's a shorter delay than I thought. Okay, totally copying and okay. I'm going to send you this. Monica, I'm going to send it through my Gmail account because I think that'll probably be more effective. That is coming right now. I'm sending Monica a link to Monica. There we go. And the link is here. Okay, hold on. Video embed YouTube page. That's not right. Okay, wait, hold on, you guys. Now I'm confused because I don't know where the link is to my page. Screen share, showcase, Q&A. Okay, I don't now I don't know where to find the link for my broadcast. Maybe because I'm on the broadcast live? No, that's not working. Okay, so maybe I won't be able to actually bring you on live right now. They offered me a link at the beginning when I first signed on to the broadcast. It's like, okay, send a link to your friends to join you. But now it seems the link is gone. I've got the YouTube page link, but I don't think that's what we want. And we have a link to embed, so never mind. Thanks, Monica, but I think I'm not going to be able to pull that off. Everybody's sending it. Okay, so look, I really want you. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm going to post the link of my Hangout because I see that. I'm going to post that here in the chat box. And maybe you can see if you can sign on to my Google Hangout from there just to try it out. I'm sorry to be so ignorant of this, but like I said, it's my first time. And I see that Ms. Sherry Blackwell has joined. Hello, Ms. Sherry. It's so nice to see you. And I also see that Jen Blair has signed on. She's like, yeah, I made it. Right on. I'm excited. Okay, thank you for putting your emails in there. Try to sign on to my Hangout from here. Oh, I think you actually can. I just clicked the link that I posted, and that's either if you click that link, it opens up the Hangout. I see that Sheila has joined. But I'm hearing myself now. It opens up the Hangout. I see that Sheila is.
Hi.
I see that Sheila, I hear your voice. But I'm hearing myself now. I see Andrea. Oh my God, Sheila, you have that beautiful wall hanging behind you. It's so good to see you. Oh my God, that is so cool. Sheila, I hear your voice.
It just dawned on me when I tuned in.
Oh my God. Okay, wait, I see Andrea is there. I see Sheila is there. Okay, there is Monica signing on. Oh my God, I love this. I see Andrea, I see Monica, I see Sheila. Hi,
Whoa, this is so cool.
oh my God. I have no idea what's happening on my webinar page, but I can see you. Monica, you look beautiful. Andrea, you look beautiful. Sheila, you look beautiful. I've got these three goddesses here. It's awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm having a hard time hearing you just because I think there's a lot of us. So I'm not okay. Sherry, I see Sherry's there. I think there's a lot of us. Yes. Okay. So Jen and Sherry, if you want to join me on the actual Google Hangout, just click the link that's in my that I just typed into the chat box, and then you can join me there. But there's less of a delay, I think. But I need some kind of a system to say, like, who's going to talk. So I think what I'm going to do is start talking. And and actually I'm going to take these off right now because there's so much noise going on that I'm like really confusing myself. Okay, so I'm going to start off by saying hi and welcome. And now I'm going to start talking about Paris and just giving you a little bit of an update. So I don't know what kind of controls you have on the Google Hangout, but I've got the Google Hangout here, and if you want to ask me a question, I think it would probably be easier if you actually typed your question into either the chat message on the Hangout or on the chat message on the chat box on the webinar page. And yeah, there is a lot of feedback, which is why I just saw Andrea's message on the chat box. And I'm going to, I took out my headphones just because there is a, sorry, I'm keeping my headphones in. And yeah, there is a lot of, but I just saw Andrea's maybe if it's possible to mute yourself and on the Hangout, like at the top of my Google Hangout, I have a way to mute my microphone. So maybe if you mute your microphone, it might be easier. Maybe a little more quiet if you're actually on the Hangout itself. That might be easier. All right, so I want to get into some stories because I'm here in Paris, and I'm really grateful that you all are working with me through the technical difficulties. But I do want to start telling a few stories. I arrived here on Monday, and I have to say it was really difficult leaving Ferrera. It was difficult leaving Ferrera in Spain because I had an amazing time there. I had been there for 40 whole days, and I met a lot of fantastic people while I was there. It was just really a magical experience. I met fantastic people, and I really was able to do a lot. I was really able to do a lot of healing. I think I can put this back in now because everyone seemed to have signed off on the Hangout because of the feedback. Sorry about that, girls. I think I can work on that for the next time. But yeah, when I was in Ferrera, things were really, really good. I was waking up every morning and I had this beautiful mountain view and, uh, you know, this just kind of very peaceful way of being. I was spending a lot of time by myself and I was spending a lot of time creating a lot of work. And, you know, I was productive and I would go out on these long walks in nature, you know, just through the forest, on the trails, off the trails. And I was having these kinds of really magical experiences and feeling very connected to everything. And I don't know, girls, I really changed in Ferrera. I really, you know, of course, it's been this kind of long process of developing and breaking down. And you know, I've been working on my inner world for years now, really intensely. And after my mom died, I really went on a super intense journey, and that's been kind of the my MO for the last almost 3 years. But it's been kind of time for that part of myself to die. So like my mom's death put me on this dark inward journey of having to lose everything. And that went on for about 2 years, but the last 6 months has been this really strong wake-up call for me to actually wake up and to get very, very strong in who I am now. So it's like my mom died and a part of me had to die along with her. And that part of me that had to die was the one that was, number one, very angry at her, but also this part of me that was a child clinging to my mother for support, clinging to my mother for my identity, identifying myself in terms of my mom. And even today, I can see myself. I can see myself very much um, kind of identifying myself in terms of my mother. And you know, even now, starting off this story in terms of her death, you know, it still shows my attachment, or it shows her as a marker, as a huge marker in my life, you know. But it's also time for that to be over, and I'm very, very, very willing for that part of my life to actually be over, you know. So what I'm doing now, and I've been doing particularly in the last 2 months while I was in Spain, was really letting go of that identity. Not, and I don't want it to seem like I'm kind of like trying to rule my mom out of my life. That's not what it's about at all. But it is very much about establishing who I am in the world. Like, what the fuck do I really want? You know, like, what do I really want from my life? And when I was in Long Beach, I was really very excited to be there. I was happy to have my friends and things that I was building, but there was something that was not fully connected to my authentic self. And so now that I've made the decision to move to Europe, like making that decision to leave everything behind and to tell myself that I'm actually moving to Europe, to say the words, I'm moving to Spain. That was so powerful for me. And so I really took the time to to embrace the idea that I live in Spain. And I didn't know why it was Spain, but I enjoyed saying it. And I didn't know how long I was going to be in Spain. At the time when I was moving, you know, going through this process, people were like, well, when are you coming back and where are you going to be and how are you going to be there? And I'm like, I don't know. All I know is that I'm moving to Spain, meaning I'm closing down house in Long Beach. I'm not going to do anything but focus on being like in Spain. And I knew that I had gotten accepted into the artist residency program in Ferrera. And so that was really powerful for me. Um, that felt that felt like it was going to be grounding for me. And the first couple of months, or the first several weeks, I was just traveling around Spain. I had rented a car a lot, and I was driving. That was very exciting. You know, I had driven from, I had arrived in Denia, and I rented a car in Denia, which is it's in the middle of the coast of Spain. And then I drove down to Malaga, and I started really getting my independence when I got a car in Spain. It's like getting a car is a really beautiful experience. You know, you think back to when you're 16 years old, and I want to just check in with you all on the chat box on the webinar. If you have any questions, please type them, or any comments, please type them into the chat box on the webinar. And Sheila, I see that you and your little puppy are on the broadcast on YouTube. I mean, on the Google Hangout. So if you have a question, then go ahead and text it or type it into the, actually, Sheila, if you're there, you don't even have to type your question. You can just talk, and I think I can hear you,
Can you
right?
hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can totally just hear you. If you have a question, then go ahead and ask, all right? But otherwise, I'm going to just keep on chatting here. So when I was when I had gotten the car and started driving from Denia, it was very empowering for me, because even though I had lived in Europe for 2 years, I was I had a fear about driving in Europe. And it was just going to be a learning curve. I knew that, but I was kind of like, oh, I don't want to drive in Europe. You know, I want to take public transportation, but it was too hard to take public transportation, like to take a train along the coast of Spain. There's no like direct bus system that just kind of works its way along the coast of Spain. You actually have to like go inland. Like if I wanted to take a train from Denia down to Estepona, which is on the south coast of Spain, like deeper further south, I would actually have to take the train from the coast of Spain into the middle of Spain to Madrid, and then take a train from Madrid down to Estepona, you know? So it would be like this big journey where if I just got in a car, I could be there in 2 hours. But if I wanted to take the train, I'd have to take, 10 hours and then be lugging all my shit through the train stations. You know, I can't stand traveling like that. I don't like lugging a bunch of stuff through stations. And so I rented a car, and I tell you, the freedom that I had was immense. It felt so powerful and wonderful. It gave me my legs. It's kind of like I felt like a young woman coming to the world and needing to learn the rules of the road. It was very, very powerful. And I felt just really, really good. So that kind of got me into rhythm here, driving. And when I get to my different locations, I had to feel my way around. So I started off in Denia, Alicante, and then I drove to Estepona, which is, like I said, further down the coast. I had a beautiful timeshare in Denia and a beautiful timeshare in Estepona. Loved them, like great locations. And then after that, I went a little bit further north I moved away from the coast, and I went to a city called Jerez de la Frontera. And Jerez is not on the coast, but it was a beautiful old Spanish town. There were not a lot of tourists there. And it felt really great to be in a really Spanish place. Nobody spoke English. And so I had to practice broken Spanish. I met the cutest guy there, an adorable man, but he was so damn young, but he was so damned good looking. I mean, this man, oh boy, just beautiful. And I think he was 25.
That's fine. What's wrong with that, girl?
Sheila, what did you say? Say it
What's
again.
wrong with that, girl? Ain't nothing wrong with that. 25 is
No.
legal.
Yeah, you're right.
Legal.
25 is legal. There ain't nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it. But let me tell
I'd
you
hit
something.
that. I'd have hit that.
Sheila is saying she would have hit that. Girl, I probably should have. But you know what? I gotta admit, it was it was wonderful to be flirted with by a young man. It was. And it made me feel powerful and beautiful. And but it was almost a little bit too much. And here's why. When I was in Spain, particularly in Andalusia, which is where Jerez is, the male energy was so macho and intense there. It was almost a little bit too much. Like, I always felt safe. I don't want to give you the impression that I ever didn't feel safe. For whatever reason, Spanish men, when they are giving you attention, it just doesn't feel like they're going to attack you. They're just highly appreciative. And it's kind of like you're walking down the street and every man is literally like, hola guapa, like, hola guapa, like, hello, beautiful. And it was, being dark skinned, it was, hola guapa morena, guapa morena. It was like, oh my God. Or it was this constant thing of like this constant affirmation of being beautiful and being dark. And even Spanish women would come up to me and they'd be like, "Oh my God, I love your skin. Your skin is so beautiful." They'd touch my arm and they'd touch my shoulder. And these are women. Men never tried to touch me. But women would be like, "Oh my God, your skin," like, and they'd be like, "I want your skin. I go in the sun so I could be brown like you, so I can be brown like you." Really affirmative and very different than what I've experienced growing up in the United States. And I think that this is a part of my desire to live in Europe, is kind of this ability to actually feel appreciated. And as shallow as it might seem in many ways, um, we do all need to feel affirmed and appreciated and, to feel beautiful. And part of having the experience of feeling appreciated and then understanding that I appreciate the appreciation, that brought up shadows inside of me that was saying, like, why do you need to have this attention, this affirmative attention? Why can't you just be confident in who you are? And as I dealt with my own shadow on that, part of the part of my growth was understanding that I actually need to feel affirmed. I need to feel like I need to feel like I'm sexually attractive, like I'm a beautiful woman. We all have the right to do that, right? We all have the right to that. And women who have maybe felt affirmed in their life for their beauty maybe take that for granted. But for those of us who never felt that, it's very powerful to receive that, and it felt good. And so part of my growth has been to say, to own who I am along with my insecurities and to say, I feel good when I'm affirmed as a beautiful woman. And to kind of own that actually has allowed me to relax a little bit, and to feel like to feel desirable. And in that feeling desirable, it helps me to kind of, I don't know, have some confidence, like, yeah, I was walking around thinking I was an ugly woman when I was in the US. Nobody gave me any attention. Then I get to Spain and it's like, oh, I do feel like a beautiful woman. That's powerful, man. That feels really good. And so when I was in Jerez, there was a lot of exploring of the city. In Jerez de la Frontera, they have, it's the home of flamenco song. So flamenco dance is more in Sevilla, and in Jerez, it's flamenco song. So there are taverns, or they call them tavernas, that are set up where you go in and you sit down, you have a glass of sherry, you have some salty tapas, and you listen to somebody playing the guitar and another person singing. That's usually how it's set up in Jerez, or there can be many people, different shows, different ways of presenting. But it's absolutely gorgeous to be there where it's warm. Spain is really, really warm, like especially the southern parts of Spain, and Andalusia is actually hot. I would not want to be there right now because it would be sweltering right now. But sitting down in a beautiful taverna, which is, got these wooden walls and beautiful posters hanging, and people crowded into this small space listening to this gorgeous guitar, and these gravelly kind of passionate, strong voices that are telling these stories of heartache and loss and life on the frontier, and the sun, with the sun beating down on you, and these rugged mountains. Really beautiful, so beautiful. And the people are so gritty, like in Jerez, the skin texture of the people, because there is so much sun. They're very brown. The hair is dark and curly and thick, and they're really attractive. They are very attractive, the men, and they're sexy. They're macho, but they're very sexy. Love it. Um, so after Jerez, I had rented an apartment on Airbnb in Jerez. Beautiful apartment. And things are cheap in Spain. Oh my God. Things are cheap in Spain. I think for this 2-bedroom, it wasn't even an apartment, it was a house. I think I spent $30 a day for this 2-bedroom house with a rooftop terrace. And it was, I had a kitchen, and it was gorgeous, beautiful place. And I'll tell you, actually, during that experience while I was there, the people who owned that house, they had purchased that house as a rental property. And so they were happy to rent it out for me. But when I got in there, the hot water heater had been broken because some birds built their nest in it. And so it was destroyed. So I had no hot water. Well, these people also owned a hammam, and which is basically a day spa, right? A day spa in the middle of Jerez. And it was a gorgeous place. And so the owner is like, hey, because you're inconvenienced, we want to buy you a massage, and you can go and take your showers over at the hammam. And I'm like, yeah, thank you, because the hammam, they're like, oh yeah, and use the pools. And they had these beautiful pools where you could go, and they had like a hot pool and a cold pool and a medium pool, and you were supposed to circulate between those things. So I was spending time. I went to that hammam damn near every single day and got in those pools and just luxuriated. Talk about following your heart and having good luck. Look, a negative person might focus on the fact that, for a week I didn't have hot water in my apartment. But I focused on the fact that I had access to a gorgeous spa space. And I was able to actually really take care of myself. Spending time in a spa is a great way to feel self-love. You know, going into an opulent, luxurious place, and you know, if there's something that's very life affirming about this practice, you know. So I'd walk across beautiful Old Town Jerez, which was gorgeous architecture, beautiful jacaranda trees, you know, and lots of gorgeous men calling me beautiful. Fuck yeah, I was feeling good, man. I have to admit, I was feeling amazing, you know? So Jerez was really eye-opening. And all this time, I'd been writing, by the way. You know, it's not that I haven't been, you know, I've just been hanging out, flirting with men and, you know, luxuriating at the spa. I was actually writing and holding sessions. I had lots and lots of clients. I was doing tarot readings and coaching sessions and feeling really, really powerful. So after Jerez, I went to Estepona again, and I stayed in a beautiful Marriott location. Marriott Vacation Club is a part of my timeshare, so I was able to spend time there, and that was really nice. But that's when I got actually really, really sick. So I didn't do much while I was there, but sit in the bed and cough and blow my nose. I had a terrible flu. It was really powerful. And after I left there, I ended up going to Ferrera. So I was in Ferrera for 40 days. And like I said at the beginning, I just really fell in love with life there. You know, I came alive. I was spending lots of time in nature, hiking, you know, observing, but spending time in nature, literally observing the smallest bits of nature. And I found it to be extremely healing and a lovable, lovable experience while I was there. I fell in love. So I need to probably check in with you and see if there are any questions. I'm going to go to the chat box and see if anybody has questions there. It looks like y'all are hanging in, but let's see
So am
if
I
there are
the
any
only one
questions.
on, so am I the only one on Hangout?
Yeah, you're the only one on Hangout, Sheila.
Because there somehow not when I joined it, you had to allow it to do something else too. So there
Ah,
was two.
well, and the thing is, there were 4 people that were on Hangouts at the same time, and there was too much feedback coming from the and so it was hard. So everybody jumped off of Hangouts,
They could have
and
just.
that's why I know, you know, but see, I didn't know enough to tell them to do that. But next week, we're going to have Hangouts next week also, and I will be able to tell you all to do that because I will know.
Can
Thank you for that advice, Sheila.
let me mute it. Let me see. Can you hear me? Just see if you can hear me.
I could not hear you at all.
Okay.
Oh, and I can see that you had a little mute button that came up. Your image showed a little microphone mute, exactly. So that's what that meant, which is perfect. I can tell people to do that the next time so we can have more people on the Hangout, and you know, it'll be a little bit more interactive, which will be great.
I missed all of
So
them. They were all here and then they were all gone. I was like, oh my God.
yeah, because it was so loud, and then I got confused. I'm like, oh my God, I can't deal with all the noise here. You know, I was getting really
I
confused.
felt, my computer totally crashed. I logged out and I guess everybody left.
Oh,
And then I came back in and there was nobody. I was like, what happened?
yeah,
So
okay,
I didn't
okay.
want to interrupt you while you were talking.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. And it's good to have the experience of having you on here now because it's great because there's no delay between us on the Hangout. So what I think I'm going to do the next time is I'm going to invite everyone to actually join me in the Hangout. And the live feed will be on the Paris Chats page, but the Hangout will be where we can actually interact, and that'll be good. And I can monitor people who are not in the actual hangout but are on the page. I can monitor them through the chats, the texting, right? So that'll be really good. Okay, so I'm going to start bringing this to a close because we've been on for almost 50 minutes. We've been on for 50 minutes.
Yay!
So I'm going to move through my stories and catch you up to where I am right now, okay? So I was in Ferrara, lots of good writing done in Ferrara. I know people were like, were you writing? Are you writing your book? I'm like, yes, I'm actually working on my book. But I also brained Bonjour Paris. Sheila, so you're going to be coming to that, and Monica's going to be coming, and Jen is going to be coming, and I know Nikki is going to be coming, but Nikki's not on the chat. But I'm really, really, really excited about this. You know, it's going to be so much fun to have you all here. Paris is just awesome. I thought that when I landed in Paris that things were going to be, I thought I was going to feel weird being here after being in the mountains for so long and having this wonderful community of people in Ferrara. I thought that I was going to feel weird being in the city. But no, my God, I landed and I literally felt like I was coming home, you know? Like I knew how to get along the metro. I knew where I was staying. I knew how to get there. I kind of like didn't even need the directions that the woman had offered me. I'm like, no, I know where that is. No, I know how to get there. And that was also feeling knowledgeable about the city was also life affirming for me. It felt like, you know, there's something about having confidence in what you're doing. I mean, that is confidence. As obvious as that is for me to say this, it is really great to know this city. I'm going to just be straight up honest. This is a cool ass city. And I feel really blessed that I spent 2 years in the city. And when I was here, there were lots of my friends who were going off, you know, they'd spend weekends not in the city, you know, they'd go away to different places, you know, exploring Italy, exploring London, exploring Spain. And the whole time when I was here in Paris, I didn't leave, except I spent one summer back in the US where I was working, earning some money. But all those other days were spent in Paris, walking the city from corner to corner, exploring every small street, you know, going up every alleyway. My friends and I would meet in different parts of the city, and they'd take the metro or they'd take the bus, and I would walk and I would, you know, meet people on the street, engage, you know, finding all these interesting little restaurants and these fantastic little curio shops. That was how I learned Paris. And I feel like that's why I land here, and I just know where I am, you know. I know where I am in all parts of the city. But the city has changed a lot too. There are a lot of different there are a lot of new restaurants, and a lot of my old places where I was hanging out have changed. You know, they're not the same owners, new names, and all that kind of thing. But there's one thing that is constant with Paris, and I'm so glad that that has not changed. That is, there are a few things that have not changed about Paris. Number one is the attitude of the French person. The French person is still very charming and very dry. So when I'm sitting in restaurants or in bars and I'm taking pictures of my experiences and posting to Facebook or posting to Instagram, it is hilarious to watch people look at me like, what are you doing? And the other night when I was at this restaurant having dinner, delicious. It was a beautiful experience. I just arrived and I was just very excited to be sitting down in this gorgeous little bar with the menu. You know, they don't give you a paper menu. They write the menu out on this chalkboard, and they come and they put the chalkboard in front of you, you know, or you go and you look at the chalkboard to know what's being served. And to see that beautiful chalkboard with that lovely little French writing with the little prices written with a comma instead of a dot, you know, that was just really excited me and just opened my heart. So yeah, I was taking pictures left and right and, you know, soaking it all up, you know, and the waiter comes over to me and he says, mais madame, mais he says something like, le repas ici, c'est chaud, le repas. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I have to share it. He's like, no, tu dois manger, tu dois le manger. So he says, your food is here, your meal is hot. And I'm like, yeah, but I got to take a picture of it. I have to tell my friends. And he says, no, you have to eat it. It's hot. You have to eat your food while it's hot. So fucking charming and cute, you know, and kind of handsome, this man. You can't help but fall in love when you're in Europe because you're in with people, you know. It's a pedestrian city. This is why Paris is so powerful for people, you know, because it's a pedestrian city. You're on the streets. You are accustomed to being with people and you share experiences. And don't get me wrong, Parisians are not the type of people that when you walk down the street, Parisian men are not going to say to you like, you know, hola guapa. They will. That's not true. They will, but they're not outward in their experience like that. They're not macho in that way. They're much more charming and subtle, you know. Like, you know, a Frenchman is much more likely to, you know, very politely invite you for a cup of coffee as opposed to hola guapa, you know, like, ah. Just a slightly different type of experience. But still, though, you spend time walking the streets, you know. You walk to get your bread, you walk to get your coffee, you walk to get your breakfast in the morning. You grab some bread, even if you're not going to eat it at, you know, you get your bread, you go down, you get your fresh bread for the day. You go back up to your apartment and you have it, you know. Or you go down and you have your coffee in the little cafe, then you go back to wherever you're going. But life is just spent outside much more, even when it's raining, you know. People love hanging out outside, even when it's raining. You grab your umbrella, you get yourself appropriately dressed, and you enjoy being outside with people. Really a lovely experience. So looking forward to bringing you ladies here for my Bonjour Paris retreat. So yeah, great experience since I've been here. Monday, I spent out exploring, walking, just soaking up the city. I was outside walking for hours, you know, and having coffees and having meals, sitting down just on park benches, observing things, talking to people, you know, just being out. I was out for like, literally, I was out for 12 hours. I got back home and I took an apartment near the Eiffel Tower. And I was walking to the apartment. I got to the apartment door and I thought, oh my God, I didn't go and see the Eiffel Tower. I've been here for, you know, 18 hours and I haven't seen the Eiffel Tower. And so I walked over to see it. And just as I'm walking there, I'm standing in front of it, it starts sparkling at midnight, you know? And the Eiffel Tower, when it sparkles, it shimmers with all these lovely little tiny glimmering, shimmering lights. And it is quite a sight to see this monument lit up like that. Like it's an unbelievable experience. It's a mind-blowing experience. It should be one of the 7 wonders of the world. It really is. It does this amazing thing with your heart and you're like, wow, you know? So I can't wait to bring you ladies to see that. Sheila, I'm excited, to bring you here to Paris to share these experiences, It's going to
On my
be
bucket
very,
list.
very cool. Huh? Say it again.
On my bucket list.
I know, I know. And sometimes, they do interesting things with the Eiffel Tower. Sometimes, like during Chinese New Year, um, they'll make it glow like the sparkling lights are red. So it's like, oh my God, these tiny little shimmering lights that are red against this dark night sky. It's just, oh my God, beautiful. You're just mind blowing. So I can't wait to bring you here and share this experience with you.
Do you have an idea about what area you're looking for a house to rent for us?
Yeah, I'm looking to do something in this area, but I'm still not sure because there's so many great areas to Paris, and there's some really fantastic apartments that are dotted around around the areas. But I'll tell you where we won't be. I have no desire whatsoever to be in the um, look, there are no bad parts of Paris as far as I'm concerned, but we're not going to be in the outskirts. So we're going to be in Paris Central where you feel safe enough. Like if you were walking home by yourself at night, like at 2 o'clock in the morning, you would feel safe enough to do that. Most of Paris is like that. Um, so that can give us a lot of options. But I do have particular feelings about like the 8th, the 16th, the 7th, the 6th. I think that we'll probably end up being in the 6th because there are a few apartments there. But one of the things that is an issue in Paris is the space. A lot of the houses and the apartments here are really, really small, which is why I have to limit the number of women that I can bring. I have to limit the number to 8 people so that we can actually not feel like we're lying on top of one another, and that we can actually have a little bit of room to move around and to have some breathing space and all this kind of thing. So that's one reason why I'm just kind of feeling my way, and I'm being very intuitive about the place that I choose, and I'm being very particular because I feel like location is really important. I want us to be able to get around the city easily. I want us to I want everyone to feel like on your free time you can walk out of the house and into something that feels wonderful. And it I don't need for us to be in a really touristy part of town where there's a monument outside. I'm not trying to move us into an area like that. I want us to be in a neighborhood where there's a bakery and a cheese shop and a traiteur, like right in the neighborhood. Do you know what I mean, Sheila?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that you can have your own Parisian experience.
So if I don't speak French
Yes, if you don't speak French,
and get lost
you're
around the corner, I can just go, I think I'm over there.
yeah, yeah. It's funny. Number one, I'm going to give you some tools to help you not get lost. Um, but yes, um, you're going to not get lost, but you're going to want to go out and be able to order your food, to have your experiences, and we're going to be in all of all of Paris speaks English, right? Even French people, they can be a little bit like learn how to speak French, like no, je ne parle pas l'anglais, je parle français. They can be a little bit stuffy like that, but that's rare, and there's always somebody on the street that speaks English if you need anything. When you go into restaurants, bars, you'll figure out how to get along without having any French whatsoever. This city is meant for you to have a good time, so you don't have to worry about not speaking the language at all. That's good, man. really good. We're going to have so much fun. Right. So now I've been on the Hangout for an hour. Ha.
I want to ask you another question.
Please, please, Sheila, go ahead.
The airlines and everything. Now, granted,
Yeah.
getting a flight is good timing. It all
Yes.
depends on timing too. But
Hmm.
the group of ladies that are going, is it possible for us to put our heads together to go together or to synchronize our
Yes.
time?
Um, yes, Sheila, the only thing is right now you're coming during the New Year week, right?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, all the other ladies are coming for the 2 weeks. So they're actually coming the week ahead of you.
I'm gonna be the only one not there yet.
You're gonna so far you're the only one who's gonna be not there yet. So yes, I'm sorry. Um, but we still need 4 more women. So so one of those, and I have a feeling that the New Year week will be easier. I think more people are going to want to come during the New Year week because obviously it's New Year in Paris, and people tend to want to be with their families during Christmas, and they kind of want to play a little bit more during New Year. So I will keep in mind that you would love to coordinate the flight and the travel with someone, and I have that planned anyway. That's a part of my thinking, is to start understanding when people are arriving and to coordinate the times, at least even to share a ride with arrival, even if you don't leave from wherever you're coming at the same time. Planning the arrivals around the same time is what I'd like to be able to do, so that you all can share a ride from the airport, or even if I could arrange to be able to meet you at the airport, I would love to be able to do that myself. That would be really good for me. That would make me feel good, like I'm escorting you, so I don't have to worry. That would feel really nice. So yeah, is that okay? You're gonna be all right with that, Sheila?
Yeah, I gotta be brave. Sounds like you guys
Yes.
Sounds like you guys
Yes.
are very, very, I don't know about the other ladies, but you're obviously a very independent traveler. I'm just used to always being with a group of people.
Yeah,
Always
totally. Yeah. So
everything group.
no, I understand, Sheila. And yeah, and being an independent traveler is really, that is a unique thing. I've learned that, most people are really shocked by me traveling alone. Like still today, as much I move in a travel world, so I know a lot of women who travel. But when I move outside of that very, very, very tiny world, I meet a lot of people who are like, you are so brave to go around the world by yourself. You go there by yourself. You did that by yourself. And it's like, yeah, but yeah, so I understand. Um, I will, I'm going to have you very armed, very well, with everything that you need to know to make sure that you get from LAX to Paris Charles de Gaulle, or Paris Orly, which I doubt you'll fly into, but Paris has actually 3 airports. But from whatever airport you're coming in to where I'm going to be, I will make sure that you know exactly how to get there, you know?
Okay.
So you're going to feel safe. And the chances are, I bet that I will come and get you, or else I'll be sending someone to come and get you. There'll probably be someone there with a sign that says, Madame Sheila Batul, Madame Sheila Batul.
I'll
Yeah,
take, I'll take a picture of him as I get off the plane.
exactly,
That'll be the second time I get
exactly.
my name on a sign. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. That's really sweet. Hey, I've never had my name on a sign. When I go to Cambodia this Saturday, I leave for Cambodia, and they said that they are going to meet me at the airport. and they said, we're going to be holding a sign for you. And I'm like, that's so exciting. Thank you. You know, like, wow, my name on a sign at the airport. I've never had that as much as I've traveled, you know. That's how independent of a traveler I am. I've
Yeah.
never had somebody like there with a sign
Yeah.
to come and fetch me. It's good. Really exciting. So yeah, that's going to be great. But yes, darling, you will be very, very safe. I'm not going to let you I'm not going to let you fall and have to flail out there by yourself.
Middle of the street.
Okay?
Yes. I got my Americano.
Like,
Americano.
I'm American. I've never been here before. No, it's going to be great. And you know, the wonderful thing about airports now, like, you know, these airports are very, there was a time when you would travel and things would not be clear. I got to admit, it would be very unclear about how to move through the airport, how to move through the metro. But the world is changing toward travel, you know. The airports are modern, things are clear, things are clearly outlined. Even if you don't know the language, usually everything is written in English and in French, you know. So you're going to find that it was a lot easier. And actually, this is one of the reasons why during the retreat, I'm giving you a lot of free time so that you can actually go out and navigate the city on your own. That's going to build your confidence, you know. So I'm going to, you know, I'm going to spend lots of time obviously leading you through the city, guiding you. But I'm also going to encourage you to go out by yourself and wander around, and I'm going to show you how to use the public phones and how to dial my French number so that you can easily call me and say, Crystalline, I don't know where I am. I need you to come and get me. And I'm going to be like, Sheila, I'm going to come and find you. Don't worry, girl. I got you, you know? Mm. Yeah, we're going to have so much fun. And the thing is, you're going to be spending, one of the reasons why I'm doing the retreat like this is because when you spend a lot of time in one city, like, you know, usually go on a tour, you're traveling around to a lot of different cities. Like I met these women the other day, they were spending 2 days in Paris, 2 days. They spent one on a guided tour, you know, with their tour guides, and then they had 1 day to spend on their own. They were spending that 1 day all in the wrong spot. They had been wandering around one area that was so damn residential, that had no monuments, and they had been there for hours and they couldn't even get their bearings to find a decent meal. You know, they're like, where should we eat? You know, what should we do? And they were so lost. And I'm like, there is no way my girls are coming to Paris and having that kind of experience. That no way. You got 1 day, and and I know what they were going through, because I have spent days wandering around. You know, luckily for me, the way I travel slowly, so I give myself a minimum of a week in one location. Usually for me, it's going to be 2 weeks in one location, so that I know that I can have 1 day to wander around and get the full layout of the city, you know. And I'm going to spend a whole day just in some areas where where it's going to be really boring, you know. But I have the luxury of being able to do that because I'm, you know, leisurely, you know, because I've spent like time, you know, I have time to do that. But you all are not going to have that experience. I'm going to show you, you know, I'm going to take you around the city, and I'm going to show you where things are, the flavor of each city. So or flavor of each area, so that when you're here, you can kind of choose your flavor. Okay, this is what I want to experience today. So I'm going to venture out on the metro and get myself over to the Latin Quarter, or I want to have a very elegant experience. So I'm going to go to Saint-Germain-des-Prés, or I want to like have a very like youthful, upbeat mall shopping experience. So I'm going to go to Châtelet-Léal and hang out where all the the kids are hip, and, there's a high energy or whatever. So you'll have those kinds of options. Are you excited, Sheila?
I am excited. I can imagine it all.
Yeah, excellent.
I just wish I hope I could just relax and be that open when I get there.
And you know what? Jen on the chat line has just said that Sheila can wander the city with me so she doesn't have to feel alone. That's
Yeah.
really sweet. Yeah, excellent, Jen. We're excited. I'm going to type that in just in case there's a delay. Just in case there's a delay and Jen doesn't get the messages in real time. I'm not sure because, yeah, see, there is a little bit of a delay. Jen, Sheila is excited.
Definitely, guys. We're definitely gonna be there, girl.
Yeah, she's like, definitely. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for us all.
My other
So,
bucket, Italy.
oh yeah, that's going to be so beautiful. Italy's an amazing country. It's amazing. And I don't know a lot about it. I know a little bit. I've only been, I think, maybe 3 or 4 times in my life, and not a lot of time spent there. Every time I've gone to Italy, it's been with someone, and so I'm kind of like traveling, um, traveling with someone according to their plans. And it had been so long ago that I wasn't the traveler that I am now. Like now, I'm very much, I know who I am as a traveler, and then it was a discovery for me. Yeah, and Sheila, Jen has written back and said that she too is very excited, which is good. I'm glad. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yep.
One thing that, number one, I want to make sure if you all have any questions, it's a really great time to ask. So Sheila, if you have more questions, or Jen, if you have questions, Monica, I'm not sure if you're still on, but if you are and you have any questions, please, you all ask. But one of the things that I want you all to start kind of thinking about is when you come here in December, it's going to be cold, it's going to be winter, and you just want to start preparing yourself for that. I ended up borrowing the first time that I came here during the winter. When I first lived in Paris, it was winter. So I was shocked because I just had no idea of what it was like, being a California girl. I had never been any place that was wintry. And so I borrowed a bunch of clothing, which was really helpful. So just to kind of start thinking about yourself in terms of winter, and what what winter means for you. It can be very cold here. We don't get inches of snow. You get a light snowfall that will come and then eventually, like, that evaporates quite quickly. But it still can be quite chilly. And Paris is also kind of a rainy city. So you might want to, get yourself a decent umbrella as an investment. Or, you can do a light umbrella. People walk around here without umbrellas all the time, even though it's raining. You just kind of get used to it and you duck into places. You just travel a little bit differently. But I'm going to want us to be outside a little bit more. So I want you to be prepared with tights and boots, good tights, good boots, and little underclothing that will keep you warm and toasty. If you have clothing that's really nice against your skin that fits, like little t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, tights, leggings that fit against your skin very well, that's going to do a lot to keep you warm. And then you can have, your layers on top. So lots of layers, a decent hat and some gloves will also do you really well for keeping you warm while we're out and about in the city, okay? But also keeping in mind that the layers are really important because we are going to be doing lots of, Jen just typed in Long johns. Get yourself some long johns. Yeah, totally. Long johns. Um, but yeah, we'll be doing lots of walking, so that's going to help you to stay warm. Um, and we'll do lots of cafe stops and duck into museums and things like that. So that'll be good. But just start planning your wardrobe. And Sheila, you're quite fashionable, so I know that that's going to be something that's important for you. You know, how you look. You know, and Paris is one of those cities where, you know, you want to have your little style together, you know, like people, because it's a fashion city, you know, and people love their fashion. And people here, even though it's not like London where the fashion is very unique, but in Paris, the style of dress is a little bit sophisticated. You know, people their like to wear their little scarves and, you know, their cute little hats. So just things to kind of think about how you want to do it. And of course, when you get here, there will be plenty of opportunity to shop. All right.
So packing, definitely not just a carry-on.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, when you're packing for winter travel, you kind of end up needing a suitcase because you're going to need your clothing is just going to be a little more bulky, you know. So you probably want to plan for a suitcase and make sure that you choose a flight that doesn't charge you extra for luggage, you know, because that is an issue these days. That's a real world issue. Um, you know, just things to think about, okay? So I want to go ahead. I realize that we've been on for a while. I actually have a client session starting in 9 minutes, and I better hop off the call. So I look forward to next week. We're doing this again, so you can log on to the page. I'll make sure that I send an email out to let you know the exact address, just in case I have to change this up a little bit. But yeah, so Sheila, thank you for being live here on the Hangout. That's nice to see you, and I know how it works now. So we're gonna work this out really well for next week, so we can get more women live. That'll be
Yep.
so cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Looking forward to
And whoever is still live on the feed, because it says that we have more viewers here, thank you so much for joining me and participating. And thanks for chatting with me and watching, listening, however you're enjoying it. And so we'll be back here next week. And I look forward to it. I will see you then. And
Okay, bye, Crystal.
bye, Sheila. Gros bisous, big kisses. Mwah, 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 from
Mwah.
Paris.
Mwah.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Bye, girl.
All right. See you later, my love. Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye.